news, Jay! I survived. Survived what, you might ask? My midnight trip to the ER last night! Woohoo! So last night I wanted a bottle of water. Knew I had some in my truck, ran outside in the dark, directly into my fire pit. So now, Jay, if you haven't heard, let me be the first to tell you that when you can see your shin bone through a laceration to your leg, you begin to panic. So I pulled myself together and Kayla drove me to the emergency room where I needed 3 whole stitches. Yeah, this might be the least interesting emergency room story in the history of emergency room stories. At least the one other time I had to go to the emergency room, it was for something interesting. When I was like 12 years old, I over-rotated the flip on a trampoline, bit through my tongue, and had to go in for stitches. In my tongue! Which will forever be an awesome story to tell. This trip, however, was just such a buzzkill. The way I got hurt wasn't interesting, and the repair wasn't interesting. I just know for the rest of my life, whenever I tell this story, it's just going to beg the question that my coworker asked me when I told him why I wasn't going to be at work early this morning. Which, no, I was not. Kinda makes it worse. But Jay, despite it not being an interesting story, I'm gonna tell you all the details anyway. So I walked into the ER actively bleeding when they started asking me questions. The same questions. Over and over again. What are you allergic to? Height and weight? How did it happen? So as I started to answer these questions, I started to fear that I was unaware of some blunt force trauma that I had obviously taken to the head, because I just couldn't believe that with modern technology they weren't able to pass along this information in a geographically small area. So Jay, like I said, I was actively bleeding through this entire procedure, although I must say in their defense the whole process did go fairly smoothly. I just thought it was hilarious that I was calmly sitting in a room answering questions, but if you pan down to my leg you'd see blood starting to pool in my shoe. Debated on including that detail. Anyway, the whole event actually took just under an hour and I was walking out all stitched up. Okay, that leads me to my question of the day. What are your stitches, broken bones, emergency room stories? Leave them in the towel section below. Hey Jay, are we trying to make that a thing? But anyway, that's all I've got for you today, Jay. I'll see you tomorrow.